Have you ever looked at a cloud and thought, how can something that big float in the sky? Some clouds weigh millions of kilos, yet they calmly hover above us. In these 2 episodes, we'll uncover the secrets of clouds, why they don't fall, and how they eventually come down. Have you ever stared at the sky and wondered, how heavy is a cloud? Believe it or not, a single cloud can weigh millions of kilograms. But strangely, they just float there, chilling in the sky. How is that possible? Normally, heavy things fall due to gravity, so why don't clouds come crashing down? Well, the answer is more interesting and not as simple as you might think. Let's uncover the secret together, starting right here. First off, let's get to know clouds better. They're not solid objects. They're made of tiny water droplets and ice crystals floating in the air. And we mean tiny. Some are just fractions of a millimeter. Because they're so small, gravity doesn't pull them down with much force. That's why they can just hover up there like they're weightless. But that's just the beginning of the story. Besides being super small, clouds also get help from rising warm air. This is crucial for keeping them afloat. When sunlight heats the ground and water, the warm air rises, carrying water vapor with it. That vapor then turns into clouds. And as long as warm air keeps rising, clouds basically get a free ride to stay up high. Pretty clever, right? Now imagine this. A cloud is like a helium balloon floating up into the sky. As long as there's an upward push from warm air, it stays up. But when the warm air fades, the cloud starts to slowly sink. Still, it doesn't just drop like a rock. There are other forces at play. So clouds are constantly in a balance between being pulled by gravity and pushed by air from below. Cool, huh? Hold up though, even if each droplet is tiny, there are a lot of them. Altogether, a cloud can weigh as much as 100 elephants. So why aren't we getting slammed by elephant water every day? The answer? Those droplets are spread out over a huge area, so their pressure is low and they don't all fall at once. They need special conditions, like specific temperatures, air pressure, and humidity, before they can turn into rain. They don't just fall randomly. Remember condensation from science class? It's key for clouds. When water vapor rises and hits cold air, it turns into tiny liquid droplets, aka cloud particles. But these droplets are still too light to fall. They gather and hang around in the sky. Only when they get big and heavy enough do they overcome the upward air force. That's when they finally fall as rain. So, do clouds fall? Yes, but slowly and in style. Here's another cool twist. Up in the sky, there are super-fast jet streams. These high-speed winds act like giant conveyor belts, pushing clouds around. That's why clouds can move so quickly across the sky. These winds also help spread clouds out more evenly, preventing them from bunching up and falling down. So besides warm air pushing up, clouds also get a side push from these powerful winds. The sky's got teamwork going on. You've probably seen a clear blue sky suddenly filled with thick clouds. That means moist air is rising and turning into more and more cloud. But don't worry. Those thick, gray clouds still won't fall just like that. They wait until the natural scale says it's time to drop rain. In a way, clouds manage their own weight, making sure they don't just fall without warning. What if a cloud did fall all at once? That'd be like getting drenched by a giant bucket. Luckily, nature has its own safety systems. Even during storms, not all clouds fall at once. Air pressure, temperature, and wind speed all help regulate things. That's why rain might start slowly or fall as a drizzle. Nature's pretty smart about keeping everything balanced and safe. So, in conclusion, why don't clouds fall to the ground? Because they're tiny, light, lifted by warm air, and helped by strong winds. Nature has it all perfectly tuned, but that's just part of the story. In the next episode, we'll dive into how clouds do become heavy rain or scary thunderstorms. Why does the sky suddenly go dark and flash with lightning? Stay tuned, because the sky still holds many secrets. Alright, we already know clouds float because they're light and lifted by warm air. But if the conditions change, clouds can fall too. Don't imagine them crashing like rocks, though. It means the water droplets in the cloud become too heavy to stay up and finally fall as rain. And this doesn't happen randomly. Clouds need the right combo of temperature, humidity, and air pressure. let's break down how clouds finally burst into rain. As a cloud gets thicker and the droplets get bigger, they start colliding with each other. Each collision makes them grow. Eventually, gravity becomes stronger than the upward force from warm air. That's when they begin to fall. And guess what? At first, they fall super slowly. Some might even evaporate before reaching the ground, especially if the air below is dry. So, not everything that falls from a cloud makes it to us. Sometimes, a cloud that looks ordinary can suddenly turn into a storm cloud. This usually happens when two air masses with different temperatures meet. Cold air from one side collides with warm air from the other, creating a showdown in the atmosphere. This can cause clouds to grow rapidly, becoming cumulonimbus, the sky giant that often brings lightning, heavy rain, and even tornadoes. Scary? Yep. But scientifically, it's super cool. Cumulonimbus clouds are nothing like those cute, fluffy clouds you see on a sunny day. They can tower up to several kilometers high, and inside them is a wild mix of water droplets, ice, and strong winds. All that chaos creates friction, which builds up electric charges. When positive and negative charges meet, boom, lightning strikes. So, a sky full of calm clouds can suddenly become a stormy light show, all because the clouds fall in a dramatic way. Funny thing is, clouds often give signals before it rains. The sky darkens, winds pick up, and the temperature drops. These are signs the clouds above are full and ready to unload, and when the rain starts, it means gravity has finally won. But rain isn't just water. It's the result of a long journey involving water vapor, changing temperatures, and Earth's pull finally taking over. It's nature's story in every drop. But did you know there's a unique moment called virga? This happens when rain falls from a cloud but evaporates before reaching the ground. It usually occurs in hot, dry areas, so if you see streaks of rain in the sky but the ground stays dry, that's virga. The cloud still falls but never makes it. Kind of like someone about to vent, but backing out last second. A little sad, but fascinating once you understand it. Besides virga, there's something called hail. This happens when water droplets rise and fall multiple times inside a cumulonimbus cloud, freezing each time they're lifted into colder air. Eventually, they become chunks of ice and fall as hail. Yep, literal ice balls from the sky. Sometimes they're marble-sized, but they can get as big as tennis balls. Imagine a peaceful cloud suddenly falling as solid ice. Nature's got wild tricks, huh? It's not just rain or hail. Clouds can also fall as snow, but only in cold regions. The process is similar, except the water vapor turns straight into ice crystals. These crystals gently float down and become soft white snow. So, depending on the conditions inside and below the cloud, the way it falls can be totally different. Just like people, clouds have many ways of coming down to Earth. What if clouds never fell at all? We'd face extreme drought, plants would die, animals would suffer from thirst, and people would panic. That's why clouds falling is crucial for life. Even cooler, nature has this system down to a science. The water cycle, from evaporation to cloud formation to rain, is one of the most incredible systems on our planet. Without it, life as we know it wouldn't exist. So now you know why clouds don't just fall straight down, and how they finally fall in different forms: rain, lightning, hail, or even snow. Clouds aren't just sky decoration, they're vital to Earth's survival. From now on, when you look up and see a cloud, remember, it's on a journey, and every raindrop could be the result of a long flight from thousands of meters above. Pretty amazing, right? Now you know, clouds aren't just cute white puffs in the sky. They play a huge role in our life cycle. From rain to storms, nature has it all smartly planned. So next time you see a cloud, remember, it's not just beautiful, it carries an amazing story worth knowing. If this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss other exciting videos. Likes and comments will also help this channel grow even more. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.